All right, let's dive into a really powerful framework from entrepreneur Alex Hormozi. It's all about tackling a problem every single one of us has faced, the struggle to actually follow through. It's a system, a secret weapon really, to make sure that you and anyone you happen to be leading actually get things done.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You have a super clear intention, you're unmotivated, you even make a plan, and then nothing. You hit that incredibly frustrating gap between what you meant to do and what actually happened.
So maybe it was a personal goal. You swear to yourself, this is the week, I am finally going to eat healthy. But then Wednesday rolls around and you're right back to your old habits. Or what about fitness? The alarm clock goes off for that morning workout you were so excited about last night and you just hit snooze. The intention, totally there. The action, not so much.
And listen, this isn't just about personal stuff. It happens at work all the time. There's a critical project, it's got a firm deadline, but somehow it just slips. The follow-through just wasn't there.
So what we're talking about here is the follow-through problem. And the most important thing you need to know is that this is rarely a personal failing. It's not about being lazy, it's a systems failing.
And you know what? Behavioral science gives us a really clear diagnosis for why this happens. It pretty much always boils down to one of three things. 1. We weren't specific enough about the what, when, and how. 2. Our why just wasn't strong enough. There wasn't enough of an incentive. Or 3. There was just too much friction. Some kind of blocker was in our path, making it way too hard to get started.
Okay, so if we can diagnose the problem with science, it means we can also design a solution. And that brings us to this brilliantly simple, super effective framework. It's called the Management Diamond. Now, Alex Hormozi developed this as a tool for training his high-performing teams, but its real magic is just how universal it is. It's a system literally designed to close that gap between intention and action for good.
So the whole framework is built on 5 critical points. I want you to think of them like the facets of a diamond, right? Each one has to be perfectly cut and polished for the whole thing to really shine.
Let's break this down. First, the what. Are the expectations absolutely crystal clear? No gray area. Second, the how. Does the person actually have the skill to do the thing? We can't just assume they know. Third, when. Is there an explicit, non-negotiable deadline? Fourth, incentives. Is there a clear reason, a reward, or maybe a consequence that's tied to getting this done? And finally, number 5, blocks. Have we actively looked for and removed all the obstacles and points of friction?
And this right here is the absolute key. This is not a buffet where you get to pick and choose which points you like. If even one of these 5 points is missing, the whole system springs a leak. You can have a clear deadline and a super skilled person, but if there's a huge blocker in their way, guess what? Performance is going to suffer. All 5 have to be there.
Okay, and here's what makes this so incredibly powerful. This framework isn't just for managers running big teams. It's a tool for every single one of us. Let's look at how you can apply it to yourself and to a team.
So on one hand, you can turn this diamond inward. If you're struggling to be consistent with something, use it like a personal diagnostic tool. Just ask yourself, which one of these 5 pieces is missing for me right now? And on the other hand, if you're leading people, you turn it outward. You use it to design better systems and to communicate way more clearly. You ask yourself, where am I just assuming my team knows the what or the how, instead of actually spelling it out for them?
When you start looking at things this way, it causes this profound shift in your mindset. It stops being about willpower and grinding it out, and it starts being about the environment you design. And that brings us to maybe the most empowering takeaway from this whole thing. I really want you to let this sink in. That gap, the one between our intentions and our actions, it is rarely about laziness. It is almost always about poor design and poor communication across those 5 points of the diamond.
So what's the big takeaway? It's this. The next time you or someone on your team fails to follow through, just resist that urge to blame laziness or lack of motivation. Instead, look at the system. Go hunt for the leak in the diamond, because that is where the real solution is hiding. So I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. Whether it's for a personal habit you're trying to build or for a team you're trying to lead, take a hard look at your current challenge. Which piece of the diamond is missing? Which gap do you need to close right now?